10 secret rares for Power of the Elements are here. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We will have a link down below to our limited release of the gem deck box. When they sell out, that is it for the pre-order. You'll have to wait until about Christmas time for the actual release. Number one on our list here is going to be the new Ashura Exceed monster here, or Ashura King. Quite honestly, I think that this card is kind of interesting for what it brings to the table, being 3+ level 3 monsters to make. So yes, Burning Abyss did get support here. While this card has material, it can attack a number of times during each battle phase up to the number of materials attached to it. As start damage step, if this card battles, it gains 200 attack. When another monster effect is activated, quick effect, detach a material from this card to negate that activation and destroy that card. This will be one of the weaker secret rares in the set, in my personal opinion. It is cool that rank 3 did get a much better negator, but let's call it what it is at this point, ladies and gentlemen. You already know that rank 3 is definitely being overshadowed by the crazy power that is the rank 2s now. Now, next up on our list here is Ultimate Slayer, the best, one of the better secret rares in the set. In terms of generic staples, I think this card is nuts. A lot of the OCG side decks played this card. So when your opponent cannot activate monster effects in response to this card's activation, send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard and then target one monster your opponent controls with the same type as that. So Fusion, Synchro, Exceed, Pendulum, or Link, and shuffle into the deck. Now, what they end up doing with this is you play the Evil Twin Link monster with this. So you basically end up dropping the Evil Twin Link monster, the big Link 4, and then the Link 4 has the ability for you to send an Evil Twin monster from your deck to the graveyard. So a lot of people are playing the big Kishi La Kill monster so that you can end up dropping it so you get an additional spot removal. Now, that's 3 Ultimate Slayers, a combination of that plus the big monster. But yeah, I do recommend this. Absolutely sought after card in this set. Next up is Draco Utopian Aura. So when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, negate that activation to destroy that card. Then you can apply one of the following effects. Banish one monster from your hand, and if you do, special summon the monster that was destroyed and sent to the graveyard by this card effect. Now, this is a once per turn solemn strike that is restricted to the zone of the hand. Now, as much as I want to be a little bit more optimistic here for this card and go, yeah, this card has a lot of potential, I do think it does have potential, at least in the regard of, hey, this card does amazing things being a counter trap card. A lot of people wanted better generic counter trap cards, and we got it handed to us on this card. But banishing a monster for the additional effect can kind of feel a little bit disheartening because you might not be playing a lot of monsters in this particular deck, but this will be a very cheap secret rare for sure. Next up here is Kukikara, the Divine Karate. So this thing cannot be normal summoned or set. Remember, it does have 1500 attack points. You can technically Sang and search for this if you really wanted to. Must be special summoned from your hand by attributing all face-up monsters on the field that activated their effect this turn in your opponent's monster zones. Gain 1300 attack for each attributed to special summon this card, and during your end phase, you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field. Now, the big thing with this card was, we call this the Reverse Nibiru because every monster effect that you can get to trigger an effect, this thing gets to eat up. Now, how much bigger does it get? Well, 1500 per what you tribute. So 1 is 3, 2 is 45, 3 is going to be 6. You can get a full field off. You got an OTK machine on a level 1 monster here. I think this card will sit at the mid price tag for a little while. I think a lot of players are going to be very indifferent about this card's price tag because they're not really going to know how to handle this, and it's understandable here. The biggest shocker here was Mother Martha reaching out to secret rare status here. If you control no monsters or only exceed monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, you can special summon an Exosister Ellis from your deck. You cannot special summon monsters the turn that you activate this card, except for Exosisters. And if a card moves from either graveyard, alright, so just moves out of either graveyard, sure man, special summon this an extra deck Exosister monster using this face-up card as material. The most infamous clause here, but a lot of people were genuinely shocked to see that this card did in fact make secret rare status. And what am I supposed to tell you? I'm not surprised at all. There is no reason why you should be surprised Pikachu faced seeing this. This was one of the most expected cards in the set, and Konami definitely spread out value a lot more in this set, so I wouldn't be shocked at all by this. All right, pretty easy. Next up was Godi of the Deep Beyond. Yes, Godi was our exclusive import theme in this set here, and after we've seen all the Godi exclusives this afternoon, I don't know how I feel about it. It feels a little bit lackluster in my opinion. I understand it's Wave 1 support here, but this was 1 plush fish tuners plus 1 non-tuner monster to make. You can vacuum into this thing if you want here. The original attack of this card becomes 500 times the number of banished monsters, so that does count for the opponent. And if this card is synchro summoned during your opponent's turn, you can banish all cards on the field. And then during the standby phase, this thing ends up warping itself back. Alright, now the whole Godi archetype does revolve around reviving via the banish pile. But I think that this is one of the weakest secrets in the set. Like, I'm sorry to say that. Like, the Godi archetype compared to the rest of the onslaught of really good cards in here, I mean, so far, to be honest with you, I think it's Godi here, and then I think that Ashura is, like, the second worst secret in the set. Next up is the Unexpected Value Machine, Instant Contact. Pay 1,000 life points, special summon a level 7 or lower Elemental Hero Neospatian monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. But if you do not have an Elemental Hero Neos on your field or in your graveyard, the special summon monster cannot attack, its effects are negated, and return it to the extra deck during the end phase. Now you're probably like, Robbie, why are you talking about this card? This is an instant fusion target for level 7s. You know, instant fusions can do level 6s, ready fusions can do level 6 and below normals. This touches level 7s so that you can bring out stepping stones for, you guessed it, combo, ladies and gentlemen. I think this card will be very, very cheap. I think a lot of players are going to underestimate the value that this card sets up in the game. But do not underestimate this. Mark my words on that, ladies and gentlemen. This card has insane value. Next up is Sprite Blue. Anybody surprised about this one? The heart and soul of the Sprite deck was a secret rare. Wow! Surprise Pikachu face. If you control a level 2 or rank 2 monster, special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon 1 Sprite Blue once per turn this way. If this card is special summoned, you can add 1 Sprite monster from your deck to your hand, except for Sprite Blue. You can only use this effect of Sprite Blue once per turn. It's an extender that searches for everything in the archetype. Amazing! Of course, it's going to be locked behind a crazy paywall, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen that the rest of the archetype is actually fairly cheap. Thank you, Konami, for that, at least, besides, you know, the splash wall of ultra rares. But, you know what? I'm willing to look past that, to be honest with you, because we take what we can get. That's kind of where we're sitting right now. Next up was the Primeval Planet Perlino. When this card is activated, add a Tier Elements monster or Vice the Starfrost from your deck to your hand. Fusion monsters and Tier Elements monsters you control gain 500 attack points. Field spells that add on activation are busted. Field spells that gain attack buffs in addition to that are really good. But you know what? It's even better. If a Tier Elements monsters you control or in your graveyard is shoveled into the deck or extra deck, except during damage step, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Now, when you're playing the game during your opponent's turn with the Tier Elements version of this deck, that's a Paparoo during the opponent's turn. I like how this ended up being the secret rare. I mean, the rest of the Tier Elements deck is nothing to scoff at in terms of rarities. OTS upgrades? OTS upgrades. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Konami's definitely going to be doing a lot of OTS upgrades for Tier Elements, considering the fact that all the little pieces ended up being relatively small here. And your last secret rare was Tier Elements Collido Heart. So it's a Rhino Heart plus 2 Aqua monsters in order to make it. Cannot be used as fusion material if this card is special summoned or an Aqua monster is sent to your graveyard by card effect while this card is on the field. Target 1 card your opponent controls, shuffle into the deck. That's 2 spot removals, by the way, between the field spell and this. And if this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can special summon this card, and if you do, so once your Elements monster from your deck to the graveyard. Free dumping equals another free fusion summon. That's the entire gimmick of the deck. But talk about just infinite moving combo pieces, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the era of power of the elements. And those are all of your secret rares. Are you surprised? There's a lot of value to be had in this set. It's one of the biggest game-changing sets in years. I would say the set is on the scale of Rise. So that really should say something. So please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.